This video is going to be a continuation of a series called One Play Wednesday, where each week I like to take a look at one or two plays from important situations or well-executed offensive schemes. Increasingly, these videos are going to focus on the Ravens, Lions, and Seahawks, the three teams that I get to watch watch games of, in many cases, almost to the exclusion of watching other NFL games. This one's going to focus on Jared Goff's 3rd and 11 completion to Amon-Ra St. Brown with about 2:15 left in the fourth quarter. Lions leading 20-13 to basically salt away the game. But even thereafter, his scramble on a 2nd and 7 that really allows them to kneel down and finish the game off with Arizona out of timeouts. I think they set that play up. I think Ben Johnson has set up plays, and I'll try to bridge that. Really, it's from the first play of the game all the way until that boot concept, same formation, same exact motion. I think they're intentionally doing that motion slow at times to show it to the defense a little longer so Ben Johnson can exploit perhaps overreactions to the first play a little bit later. So this will be the 3rd down completion. I'll just briefly talk about this, and then we're going to go through a progression of Detroit being unable to convert on 3rd downs in the fourth quarter before finally closing the game out. It's a 3rd and 11. St. Brown over the middle. I believe it's against Sean Murphy bunting. It's a flex stack set, so your stacked receivers down here to the bottom side of the screen. Jameson Williams going to run kind of like this post climb concept. Khalif Raymond going to run across the middle of the field. Sometimes Detroit receivers will sit it down. Sometimes they'll keep going. And then the higher portion of that concept is being run from St. Brown on the other side of the field. So he's bringing his route back into the middle of the field. Raymond is trying to cross the face of the inside linebackers. I think he's intentionally getting to their depth to hold in front of them. He's not running this short underneath of them. I think he's trying to hold them right where they are to give Goff that lane, not just in between the two linebackers, but over the top of the linebacker level, in front of the 3rd level. A deeper dig against man, deep comeback, whatever you want to call it. Ends up being an 18-yard gain. Allows Detroit to hold on to the football. Rewinding time a little bit earlier in the fourth quarter, situations where they're unable to convert 4th downs, they're up 20-10 at this point. A touchdown on this play, or this drive, I should say, really closes things out. Jared Goff, to me, either throws a poor ball here, or he thinks that Jameson Williams is going to run to the outside of Budda Baker. So he's trying to throw it up the top of the numbers, perhaps a little bit inset from there. Jameson Williams instead bring this route kind of underneath of Baker, almost like a post, but very skinny off of it. And you can see the differential between the read that Jameson Williams made on Budda Baker and then the throw by Goff. I don't think he was trying to throw it where Jameson Williams ended up. I think those two read it differently for whatever reason. I haven't heard any explanation about this one. I don't get the chance to watch press conferences, just not enough time. But you can see the differential between where Jameson Williams was running and where Jared Goff threw the ball. I think if Goff throws that ball to the outside of the hash, somewhere in this area here, then Jameson Williams has an opportunity to run onto it, and you may actually have a touchdown. That was a 3rd and 8, a little under 10 minutes left in the game. Again, Detroit was up 20-10. Defense is able to get a stop quickly, in fact. It's going to be a 2nd and 8 here. We're skipping some plays. Going to set up the 3rd and 2 here in a moment. 3rd and 8, fourth quarter, 7:40 left, 7:38, something like that. Run concept to the 2 receiver side. Montgomery, who was very active, and he was simultaneously light on his feet, but powerful like a bull. So a very talented running back, obviously runs hard, and Arizona had trouble bringing him down. Of course, he posted 100 yards on the day. 3rd and 2 here. Very next play, in fact. 7:28, 7:38, something like that, left in the fourth quarter. Detroit, as I said earlier, up 20-10. Budda Baker walks down into the box late, so he's picked up on the tendency the Lions have to run the football in these situations. And because of the way the combo is accomplished by the right guard and the center, trying to work up to the front side inside linebacker, Budda Baker totally unblocked through the B-gap, downhill, wraps up Jahmyr Gibbs for a 1-yard gain, like I said, on the 3rd and 2. We'll give the end zone angle of this one. Second opportunity for Detroit to retain possession of the ball in the fourth quarter while up 10 points, maybe go down and be able to add to their lead. Credit to Budda Baker for recognizing it and not letting Detroit play their game, if you will, on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. Ben Johnson's willing to run the football because of how good the offensive line is. Well, how Frank Ragnall's hurt now, so there'll be some drop off in efficiency there. But how good the offensive line is, how good Montgomery and Gibbs are, Ben Johnson's willing to run the ball on a lot of those 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4s. Moving forward a little bit here, we're in just over 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. This is the second play of the drive. Detroit has the ball up 20-13, and they had run the same exact play earlier in the game. In fact, I believe it was the second or third play of the game. So Jumbo, 13, 3 tight ends on the field. One of them happens to be an eligible offensive lineman, skipper, hence the word Jumbo. It's not regular 13, it's Jumbo 13. And Brock Wright is stepping to kick out Zaven Collins, and he ends up on the top side of it. Collins makes contact and then dips underneath for the tackle for loss. Brock Wright he's got to get his head and his outside shoulder to the inside if he's trying to execute a kick-out block. It's a little different because he's in this ram alignment, meaning he's not on the midline, whereby you could take your typical angle as a fullback, kind of like a J, and dig that edge defender, Zaven Collins, like I said, dig him out of there. Because he's lined up further, kick to the right, he's got to get more of a downhill angle. I think he's too far outside. Zaven Collins beats him to the inside. Again, it was a 2nd and 10. Loss of 1 creates a 3rd and 11, and here comes the completion to St. Brown. The first play that I showed you in this video. St. Brown up top against Sean Murphy-Bunting, who came over from the Titans this year. This route by Jameson Williams, I believe, is just to hold this middle of the field free safety such that St. Brown can run his route into the middle of the field. Again, it's a 3rd and 11. Were this safety to start to drive on that, then of course Jared Goff could possibly throw this ball deep to Jameson Williams. But as it stands, that middle of the field area wide open. I think I'll give you the end zone angle this time so you can see the gap, the space that there was between the 2 inside linebackers at the second level of the defense. 3rd and 11, you have Raymond running in front of the inside linebacker level, the second level of the defense. Just trying to hold them, and you can see the window between those 2 defenders, perfectly timed from a design standpoint, in that as Raymond expands this defender, that's when the ball is shooting through in that gap, ends up being completed to St. Brown right at the hash, 18-yard gain. You think the game is closed out, still have the 2-minute warning. And I think Arizona had a timeout. So we're into a 2nd and 7. And this is hearkening back to the first play of the game, which I'll show you here in a moment. This is the boot. Again, we're at about 1:56 left in the game. Goff keeps it around the edge. I think it's Gardeck, the backside outside linebacker. Everyone is working this way. From an offensive line standpoint, from a running back standpoint, everyone's working that way. Goff is booting off of it. Ends up getting 8 yards. It's surprising because Jared Goff isn't that fast, obviously. But when you've set things up, you create a little bit more space for your players, in this case Jared Goff, than perhaps would naturally be there. So let's rewind a little bit. First play of the game. Notice the motions. The exact same order of motion, done slowly. I think Ben Johnson is one of those guys that will show you something intentionally to use it against you later. Now, it's not exactly the same run path. It's not the same action by Jared Goff and the running back. On the boot that I just showed you, Goff was faking a handoff out here to Montgomery, and then Goff was booting off of it, ended up gaining, I think, 8 yards to get the first down and basically close out the game. It's more of a downhill flavor to this. There's a duo aspect, double team here, and then comboing up to the second level. Detroit's offensive linemen and tight ends up there built a wall. You can see this nice view of the backside of their jerseys. Montgomery cuts it off of there for a huge gain on the first play of the game. Rewind back, fast forward to the same exact play. You got same personnel, except for now we got a fullback on the field. Skipper gets over there, same formation. I think Ben Johnson set this up almost 4 quarters earlier, and Goff is able to boot off of it. Look, there's still guys running routes, so he would have an option to potentially throw it to those players. 43, in fact, was running a route. I think Skipper is just designed to stay in here and pass pro as much as he can, but he's selling run. Skipper, that is. 43 is making contact, and then he's going to get out in the route. St. Brown's running like a little under concept. St. Brown and 43 run into each other, just nothing there. So Goff keeps it for himself, 8 yards, closes out the game. Detroit's second win of the year. I think Ben Johnson, many offensive coordinators across the NFL for that matter, I think Ben Johnson is incredibly prepared. I think he has things installed in the defense's minds, meaning the defensive coordinator and the defensive players, such that the next time they see the same formation, same motion, same pre-snap alignment, they're looking for the first play in that sequence, but he's gone a different route. The only difference is, or what makes it difficult to handle from a defensive standpoint, is those two plays, even though they're a sequence, they're separated by 58 minutes of gameplay. So Ben Johnson is weaving stories together over the course of a game with different personnel groups and different formations, making it incredibly challenging for the defense to, quote, remember what plays they run from a specific platform. And then at a certain time, a time of Ben Johnson's choosing, he kind of shows you something in the hopes that you remember it, and then uses it against you to run a complementary football play. Great offense, if you ask me, on that particular concept. Obviously, the throw to St. Brown. St. Brown winning against Sean Murphy-Bunting from the right side on a little dig or in cut was a cool play, getting 18 yards. Detroit's able to close out the game, not let the Cardinals get the ball back. Of course, with the way the Lions' defense was playing, it's quite likely that they would get a stop anyway. Ends up pushing their record to 2-1. If you enjoy One Play Wednesday and how I try to break down one play concepts, please let me know in the comment section. Comments drive the engagement. Comments drive the videos to perform better. One Play Wednesday videos usually don't do as well. They're shorter and don't include as much content in terms of getting in detail. Hopefully this one does. It certainly went longer than my intention for a One Play Wednesday video, which is between 7 and 9 minutes. As an aside, I will have previews out for the Lions matchup with the Seahawks Week 4 Monday Night Football. Since I watched significant film of both teams, I intend to do at least one preview, perhaps a live stream Thursday or Friday night. If you guys would enjoy that, please let me know in the comment section, as I would like to show plays and concepts that I think run across the gamut of all three games, and try to how I think these two teams would match up together. Basically, two suffocating defenses that play great pass defense and are going to force other teams to execute 65, 70, 75 yards in order to even get 3 points. Appreciate you guys' time, man. If you enjoyed this video, this look at, I guess, 2 of the conversions that Detroit made in the fourth quarter. One of them, the 3rd and 11 pass play to St. Brown, and the other one, the 2nd and 7 scramble by Goff. If you enjoyed it and you think other Lions fans would like to see this one as well, please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.